Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's seminar on study skills. We will be waiting a few minutes just for people to join in and log on so that we can get started. My name is Diane Torres, and if you could please, in the meantime, sign in to the sign-in sheet form that we have in the live chat, and in a few minutes, we'll get started. Hi everyone, if you're just joining in with me to the Study Skills Seminar, my name is Diane Torres, and I will be leading this session. Now I am going to wait a few minutes to allow for more people to join in before I get started. If you have not done so already, there's a sign-in form down below on the live chat. If you're just joining in with me to this session, and if you could please sign into that workshop sign-in sheet, and once you're done, we can get started. Okay, so I will be getting started. So welcome to this study skills seminar. My name is Diane Torres. I'm a peer mentor at San Diego City College in the peer mentor lab. This would be, well, I'm also a student here at San Diego City College, and this would be my 4th year here at City. City has helped me a lot with my goal, which is my major's in small business accounting. So San Diego City College has enabled me to keep on that pathway and graduating, which I look forward to this semester. Now, for study skills, the importance for study skills is that it helps you not only during the semester, but towards the end, especially being that we are in May, going on to finals. It's a good time to really fine tune our studying skills. And also, this will help you throughout, not only if you are studying right now during college, but if you're eventually going to transfer, or even if um, ongoing you want to study a language or certain topic on your own time. So that is why studying skills, learning good study skills, and having good study skills is so important. Now, if you are just tuning in, thank you so much for watching. And if you have not done so already, please go ahead and sign in to the sign in form down below on the chat. Um, Today, my helper assistant that will be joining me in this session will be Margarita. She's also a peer mentor and she will be answering your questions in the live chat. So, round of applause for Margarita, and thank you once again for joining. Okay, so I will start. Okay, so active listening slash taking notes during lecture. So active listening, concentrating, and actively thinking about what is being presented in class is very important. It's also very important to avoid distractions because in a class setting, it's very easy to have these type of distractions, be it your phone. That's the most common thing that distracts you, or if you're next to a window and you get easily distracted by what's happening outside, that can also be a distraction. So you want to avoid distractions when it's an in-class setting. And if you're studying in a certain place, you want to see where you're studying has the least amount of distractions for you. Also, you want to be selective in your note taking. So similar to when you're highlighting important information in a textbook, you want to ensure that your note taking, especially during a lecture, is only the important information, not everything, because um, sometimes you're writing everything, but you also want to focus on that important information. And this brings me then to what is active listening. Active listening means active learning. Active listening means that you're not only just hearing the information, you're listening and you're participating. And something interesting on this point is that with active listening, that's 70% of your communicating. So you're not only speaking when you're participating, you're also listening. Um, and listening is this process that goes beyond the physical process of hearing. It includes paying attention, interpreting what you hear. And then, not only that, but there's different types of listeners. So you want to really focus on being that active listener that when after you've heard the lecture and have taken notes, you're able to understand the material to a point that you can talk it back to someone. You know, share that insight, that information that you just had with someone else, because that's the point that you want to get to when you're active listening. Okay. Now, there is a curve of forgetting. You either use it or you lose it. And so the reason why we forget information is that sometimes if we don't use it, we're not reiterating the information to ourselves, then we tend to forget it. So as you can see in that chart, day one, yes, we knew the material, but going on through those days, because we didn't use it or we didn't practice it, then we're losing retention. Whereas if we're dedicating certain amount of times every day to review the information, dedicate some time to actively learn the information better, um, then we retain it more. So day one, it was the peak, but then day two, because there was 10 minutes of study, then we were able to maintain that retention. Day seven, 5 minutes, we were able to maintain that 100% retention. And so that's very important to consider when you're studying, because if you want to retain that information when you're studying and um, use it for future use, either in your career or for an exam, it helps if you're actively practicing what you learned. Okay. Now, there is time schedule that you have to do because you want to avoid cramming. Now, cramming is basically leaving everything to the last minute and doing everything maybe the night before of an exam or the night before an assignment is due. Now, most memory retention is produced when the student studies closest to the day that the information was presented. So this means that after you went to lecture that day, you want to review your notes because that's when you can recall better what you last heard and the presentation that you had with your professor, as opposed to when you're studying closer to the exam date because even the lecture could have been today, Friday, but then the exam might be next Friday. So you will be able to retain more information if you start studying from today and then dedicate some time than if you were to study all night on Thursday. And so, as I said before, schedule yourself some time frames throughout your weeks in increments spaced out so that you can retain the information better. And never wait till the last days before your exam to study, especially for finals. And so, right now, it's a perfect time to start seeing what you need to study and start scheduling your study time. Now there's different note-taking formats. There's the outline format, there's the Cornell format, the flowchart, concept mapping, and charting. And so choosing the right note-taking format depends on two things. It depends on your study style because not everyone learns the same way, and also on the subject. So not all subjects you want to study for them in the same way either, because you wouldn't study concepts in math with math formulas the same way you would study maybe for a history concept or a history timeline. So you really want to keep that in mind when choosing your note-taking format. Okay. And so we have the first one is an outline. So as you can see in the image, we have the subject of your assignment or the topic that you're learning, and then you jot down your main ideas. And for each main idea, you want to include at least 3 supporting details. This especially works well with history concepts and English. So if you're writing an essay, you want to do your introduction, your main idea, and then your supporting details. And then for history, there are certain concepts that there's certain events that lead up to that bigger event. And so you want to jot down not only the main idea, but supporting details, where if you had this outline in front of you for a presentation, you could explain it like that. On top of that, an outline helps you for active recall. So when you're studying, let's say for a test, you can do the main idea and then supporting details. You're not writing the whole description, you're writing it in parts. And so when you go to study, you can read off the main idea and then by yourself, start recalling what you associate with that main idea. And hopefully it should match those supporting details and what you wrote in those notes. Now, Cornell Notes. Cornell Notes is another type of note-taking strategy. You can actually use these while during lecture you're note-taking, but you can also use it to do an essay, rewrite concepts, review concepts. So as you can see on the left side, you have this person put their name, date, topic for class, and then they took notes during class. Their main points, their bullet points, any diagrams or phrases that they want to have associated to the left side of that same page, which what's associated are these topics. So main ideas, vocabulary words, um, or even something that they want to highlight that it's like, hey, let's review this for the next exam. Now, this type of notes, you include a summary at the end. Not all Cornell notes have to have that. It depends on exactly the topic that you're writing about. But you do want to consider doing a summary for whatever you're studying, because this helps you conceptualize what you learn, memorize it, and better retain it, because you're putting what you learned in your own words. Another thing I want to point out is that not only are they leaving space between topics to insert more information, but it says used for review and study and written soon after class. So you're using this to review and study. You're leaving spaces between topics, but you're also writing it after class. So you had your main notes and then you're rewriting them so that they're clear, they're more organized, and on top of that, you retain it because you're actively writing it. So even this summary, you don't have to do it that same time of class, like after you're done with your notes during class and you're putting your stuff away. You can do this at home just as a short summary of what you learned that day in that set of Cornell notes. Now on the right side, this is another example. And so you can see that their topic is Maslow hierarchy of needs. They jotted down every point, they numbered them. And on this side, their Q column, they put the main ideas, what they want to reference. When they want to think about this or study about this, they know that this is what the Maslow hierarchy in a pyramid looks like. And so they can say self-actualization, and then they can go and um, say, oh, well, I remember this is about being or having self-fulfillment. So this is helpful when you're studying because you can fold it on one side and then compare your knowledge with the other side. And as you can see, there's a summary area, there's page numbers where to find these theories, and an explanation to each one. So it's very helpful if this is a type of note taking that you like, and this is the type of learning style that helps you really retain information. Okay. Now we have the flowchart or charting. And so I really like this too for history class. And I like this for English class when there's concepts being learned, and even for writing essays. So for example, you want to make sure that it's simple. So like the outline, you want to have some main ideas. You want to visualize. So some things come first circle where it's not just a pyramid where everything goes from top to bottom or vice versa. So it allows you, as you can see on the right example, to draw arrows, draw circles, um, and show connectivity, the connections between all of these concepts. Now, as you can see, what is Bayes' theorem? This is with math. So you can use that in math for explaining theorems. That also works. So it depends how you learn and how you associate things. Now, on the bottom left, we see a timeline, and might not be too big, but you see that it divided into 3 pages, 3 long pages, which they taped together. But they made a timeline and they wrote over important events during that specific time in history. And so this is another way of creating a flow chart or charting to map it out, be creative, and as I said before, it really helps if you're filling in with those main ideas and then adding to that those main concepts associated with those main ideas that come in a full circle. Okay? And make connections. That's the whole idea about the flow chart. Okay. Now, having good techniques is very important. And it's a very important part of studying. So I just wanted to ask you guys if you had any questions on the type of notes that we just discussed. Because if you guys need me to elaborate, I'm willing to. A lot of these ways of note taking help you with when you're taking an in class or an online class. So they're very beneficial. And now, once again, if you guys are just tuning in, this is the Study Skills Seminar. If you haven't signed in, you know, give me some uh, um, some of your note-taking techniques. So what type of notes do you take? Because in some, note-taking techniques involve active listening, identifying the main ideas, not trying to write everything down, but figuring out what works for you. You know, make sure you can read those notes and that you're staying organized. So as you can see, you know, this in the right image, a lot of stuff is going on during class, but what are you specifically doing? Are you actively listening to the professor and to the presentation, or are you getting distracted? But if you guys could share with me some of those points, and while I wait for you to type in the chat, um, I wanted to let you know that study skills is very important right now as well, because we're in May and we're looking forward to finals. Okay. And so note taking is very dependent on what you're learning specifically. Um, in my major for small business accounting, there's concepts that I need to learn. So I would put this in effect by identifying the main concepts, and then most likely Cornell Notes. And if I want to practice active recall, I would make an outline. Now, another study technique that's very beneficial is to create a study list. Now, when you create a study list, you want to review all of your classes. So in practice, I have 4 classes, and I would write down all 4 topics. Then I would see what assignment I have coming up or exam I have coming up, and I would focus on these assignments, going from what's most recent or what's most the most closer deadline that I have, and then the one that I'm not sure about. So you want to see your knowledge strengths and your knowledge weaknesses, especially now going towards exam season. What helps you with creating a study list and using all your note-taking strategies that you had before is that you see what you know, and you can go back and review what you learned and talked about during your class in the past. So that's why this is important. It's also important to be able to study in a timely manner, so you're not cramming everything the night before an exam or the night before a project is due. That's why this is so helpful, because it helps you better explain your concepts and what you're trying to achieve. Okay. So another important point is, know the best time of day for you. Some people are early birds, some are night owls, some thrive during the day and are able to wake up early and get everything done early on. Some people have trouble at night, going to sleep, so they prefer studying at night because that's when they're most awake. But whatever time of the day that captures your best energy, you want to use it as much as possible to get the most quality studying done. So that wants or leads me to ask you, what kind or what time of the day is the best for those of you watching? What time is best for you to study? Think about that, and if you feel comfortable, share it with us in the chat below, because you want to create this habit of studying when you're less stressed, when you're actively awake, because this will lead to positive reinforcement towards studying in general. You want to be able to maximize your studying time. And to maximize that studying time, you want to keep in account the best time that you have for studying, the best learning style for you, the best note taking strategy for you for each subject to make it a quality studying time, and for you to do better in those assignments or in that exam. Now for group study. Now there are study groups that thrive and all they do is focus on study. Um, and then there's study groups that don't. So you want to make sure that your study group is conformed of people who have discipline, and even though you guys are having fun, you guys are observing your study habits and keeping yourself on topic. So that's why group study can be um, or can have its pros and cons, because if you don't choose well your studying group, it can be more fun than it can be more of a learning environment. So first of all, the benefits of having a study group. First of all, you have different perspectives, so you have higher understanding. Now you can learn and observe new study habits and skills from each other. So that's pretty cool. The way that you study might not be the same way that another person studies. And then when one group member may struggle, another member may be able to help that person because they're more skilled in that area. It's good to have someone to study with too, because there's that support and there's that motivation. On top of that, what I really like about study groups is that it helps you retain information, because if another of your group mates is struggling in a certain area, then what you can do is help them, and you're actively practicing what you just learned. So that's a very cool part of being part of a study group, because you're actively practicing and putting it in practice as a teacher. Okay. And I just want to ask, if any of you have any questions, feel free to put that in the live chat. Because studies, part of having good study skills is also participating. And so don't be shy to share some of uh, your questions or your thoughts and comments. Um, and I thank you once again for watching this study skills seminar. And if you have not signed in, Maggie has put the sign-in sheet down below on the live chat. Okay. Now, part of having good study skills is that you want to know what you're unsure of. You want to assess, as I said before, your knowledge in one area and another. And so that's why it's important to attend class, but also to attend your professor's office hours. Now, professors have studied that subject or for that class for several years. So they're not only well versed in what they're teaching you, but they're very dedicated and they're very resourceful, because they really immerse themselves in that subject. And on top of that, they love it, because that's why they dedicated so many years to learn it and then teach it. So one very underestimated advantage to community college is that you have um, office hours with your professor, and they're available to assist you, because um, it's a smaller class versus university. The class is a lot more larger, so that way you can introduce yourself to your professor and create that connection with him. You can bring up anything you're confused on what they're teaching on the course material, and you can get it addressed one-on-one with your professor. Now, with the online classes, you can do something similar. You can email your professor with your question. And remember to always be respectful. Hi, professor. Thank you for your time. Just have a few questions. It's very helpful because professors really want you to succeed in your classes. And all professors were once college students, you know, and they were in university. So not only they can help you with developing your study technique and making it better to what suits you, but they can also guide you with their teaching style and course material because they know it. That's what they do, and they make themselves available. So don't be afraid to reach out to your office, to your professor's office hours. And you can always find this information on the syllabus. So also make sure to refer yourself to that syllabus with your professor. Okay, and so that is the end of the seminar. If you have any questions, if you could please put that down in the live chat. We do have an evaluation for this seminar, and the link is below on the live chat, which Margarita will be posting it in shortly. Now, I've been here 4 years at San Diego City College, but as I said before, I'm also a peer mentor. And so I really want to thank you guys for coming in and watching this seminar. I hope this was helpful. If you need any assistance, we are offering virtual services through Zoom. So what you can do is that you can, for questions, you can call 619-800-2739. You can also schedule a live video appointment, FIS Zoom assistance for having any screen sharing. So what I suggest is if you want to make an appointment, call us. We'll set you up, um, and then you can also email us at sdcitycollegepeeradvocates@gmail.com for any general questions that you may have. You can also contact us, if you need assistance with Canvas, or if you want to make that Zoom appointment. Our hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3, or 8 a.m. to 5, sorry. And you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at SDCityFYS. We also have a Canvas shell that Margarita will be posting also below on the live chat. Now, the cool thing about the Canvas shell is that just like you're able to get in touch with your professor through Canvas, you can get in touch with the peer mentors in the through Canvas. So if you need to do a Zoom live for anything, we can assist you with that. And so once again, let me know if you have any questions. The seminar is in the chat. If you have not done so already, please sign up to the workshop form. That way we can keep count of who attended, and how we can make and reach out to more students out there. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys about is our upcoming seminars. So today was the first one on study skills, but we will be reviewing the same topic May 5th, May 25th, and on the same link on YouTube Live. We look forward to having you there. Our main goal for study skills, is to help you succeed in your classes. And that's why we have created different times for you to be able to access all of that. Now, we have an upcoming topic, and that's within study skills, which is on May 12th and May 14th, which is how to survive and thrive during finals. And so we have one on Tuesday, May 12th at 11 a.m., Thursday, May 14th at 3 p.m. And the reason why this is so important, it's because, finals are coming up, but we know that the stress that comes with that week of finals can be a little bit overwhelming, but we want to let to ease that stress, we're here to assist you and give you these tips that we have learned throughout our college pathway. So with those 4 years of that I've been here at City College, with the help of the resources that City has and counselors, it has really helped me in um, creating good study skills and having good study techniques, especially during finals. And we all want to share them with you because um, we believe that as a student, sharing is very powerful to us. So if you have any questions, we will be a while longer on the live chat. If you have any questions, I will be here. Um, and then once again, thank you for coming. If you have not done so already, fill out our sign-in worksheet and fill out our evaluation seminar. You can come into, or you can contact us at the peer mentor line for questions or assistance on CC Apply, on any of that sort. Um, you know, we're available to assist you in the FAFSA application, connecting you with resources offered to City College and support you in your academic goals through your journey at City. Part of our support includes seminars like this one, which is made to help you build skills and connect you with faculty and staff. And if you want to receive notifications on when we're coming up with seminars and seminar dates, you can follow us once again, Instagram, Twitter at SDCityFYS. And if you subscribe to this YouTube channel, you will also be notified when we go live in case um, you know you want to tune in, but that day you forget. We will be sending out these reminders. And we're live on social media, so please go ahead and follow us on there so that we can um, update you on any resources coming up. And so thank you once again for watching. If you have any further questions now or moving on forward, you can once again call us at the peer mentor line. We're open today from 8 to 5. So, and I look forward to seeing you in one of our future seminars. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.